In today's video, we're going to be building a voice agent from scratch. This is a client demo that I'm preparing. It's for this company called mailin.ai, where they do cold email campaigns and are one of the main competitors to instantly.ai. And so in a second, I'm just going to be showing you the final demo, and I'm going to be running you through the simple 5-step framework that I use for all of my voice agent builds and why you should be doing it too. And then we're going to be building out this entire voice agent from scratch, and I'll be dropping it for free in the community so that you can go and mess around with it afterwards. And with that being said, let's hop right into this demo.
Hi, this is Ella from Mailin.ai. Am I speaking with Kevin?
Yeah, you are.
I noticed your website is using Instantly's Pixel. I promise I'll keep this brief, but I wanted to share something that could improve your email deliverability, and it's 100% free to try for 30 days. Do you have a minute?
Sure. Can you keep it quick?
Of course. Just to confirm, are you happy with your current email deliverability rates, or do you see room for improvement?
No, I mean, we're fairly happy right now. Why? What do you mean by that?
Got it. Glad to hear you're happy. Just curious, are you using a shared setup with Instantly? Shared setups can sometimes hurt deliverability if others in the pool get flagged. Mailin.ai gives you a private email infrastructure, so your emails stay safe and land in inboxes more often. Would you be open to testing it alongside your current setup?
What do you mean by shared setups?
Great question. With shared setups, your emails are sent through the same servers as other users. If someone else sends spam or gets flagged, it can hurt your deliverability too. Mailin.ai gives you a private server and IP, so your emails are completely isolated and protected. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. That's pretty cool.
Awesome. It really makes a difference. Plus, you can try it free for 30 days to see how it compares to your current setup. Would you like me to help you get started?
Sure, that'd be great.
Perfect. I'll just need your email to send over the trial setup details. What's the best email to reach you at?
Kevin@targetdial.co.
Thanks, Kevin. Just to confirm, that's Kevin@targetdialed, right?
No, targetdial.co.
Got it, Kevin@targetdeal.co. Thanks for clarifying. I'll send over the trial link, and you'll be up and running in minutes. Let me know if you have any questions along the way. Have a great day.
So thanks, you too. So that's the demo we're going to be building today. You can see here that these are all the different states that we've built out with all the different edge path conditions that we've created. And by the end of this, you'll have a really powerful demo, and you can have a better understanding of how you can build the AI agents altogether. So I'm really psyched for this one. And with that being said, let's hop right in. I'm going to be running you through the process that we follow no matter what for any of our clients. So there's a few steps that we do, right? First, we gather the client requirements. In this case, we've already received the requirements, so I'll share that with you in a bit. It's going to be a lead qualification as the primary goal. In terms of functionalities, I mean, probably at some point we'll be building out CRM integration, appointment booking, and call transfers, all of that. These are the 3 most common that most businesses want. Then we build the knowledge base, and we hit 3 main sources. So it's really website scraping. So first we scrape their website, we get all of that information. We structure that into a question and answer knowledge base. We also normally would send niche specific questions for the team, and then they'll be able to answer those questions, refine the agent further. And then ideally, if they have sales calls from their team, or if they have any sort of documents like PDFs, Google documents, or documents on their company, we can take all of that information and put it into a knowledge base for them. After that, we do a flowchart map, and this really just helps figure out all the different states that your AI agent is going to need. And it really maps out the customer journey and makes things a lot clearer when dealing with your client. From there, we create a demo. We actually use AI to test AI. So we're using AI agents that are backed by a Y Combinator to test our AI agents. And we do this in both pre and post production. Once that's done, we go live with all the connections. So we enable all the integrations, do the CRM integrations. Then we monitor the initial interactions and implement adjustments over time. And then we build out custom-built visual dashboards for the clients to be able to see high-level what's going on with their business. So we're actually going to be using Claude to map out the flowchart. Claude is extremely powerful. It allows you to build out really nice flowcharts. And I've also used whimsical.ai. So another really cool tool. This is directly embedded into ChatGPT. It's whimsical diagrams. So you can just describe your flowchart, and then it'll generate a flowchart for you. So I would recommend one of those 2 methods. And so the goal here is really just to send out their free trial. And so this is the script that they had sent. So you can see here, Claude is now going to create this mermaid diagram. So now it's mapping out the call for us. And in a second, we should get this really nice flowchart that'll just make building this within retail much simpler. So you can see here, this is where it starts at the top. We're saying, hey, is this Kevin? And then, so we're verifying if it's the correct person. If it's the wrong person, it's going to end the call. If it's the right person, we explain the purpose. Hey, I'm calling from mailin.ai. We notice that your website is using Instantly's Pixel. Does that sound right? If customer says no, end the call. If the customer says yes, then we go to gauge their service provider. How happy are you? Not satisfied, or the deliverability is good. Present the unique value, right? So we're pitching the value. And then from there, if they show interest, we are going to send them the 30-day free trial. And if they need more time, then we're going to close follow-up, right? So we're going to check in next week, schedule a follow-up. So schedule a callback, and also still send them an email with that information on that free 30-day trial. And so you can see now that we have this, when it's going to come to creating our voice agent, it's going to be a lot easier. So we're going to hop back into retail. We're going to start from blank. So I actually just found this really nice voice too. Highly recommend you guys check it out. Her name's Hope. So we're going to come in here. We're going to add a custom voice. And then this is it right here. So go ahead, take a screenshot of that. We're going to import that voice. All right, awesome. So now we got Hope, and we're just going to turn down the voice temp, make it a little bit more calm. We'll go ahead and we'll hit save. And then in the call settings, I mean, you can drag this down, max call duration, end call on silence. And I like to increase this a little, the pause before speaking. For outbound, for inbound, you can keep it at 0. Then turn down the responsiveness a little and turn down the interruption sensitivity. I turn off the disable transcript formatting. So now we're going to set our welcome message. And if you come up here in the top right, we're just going to set that custom variable, which is first name. So let's just go with Kevin for now. There are 4 key things that I want to include in every single one of our voice agents. So this is actually for a real estate agency in Dubai. And we always want to include the role or the purpose, like who this agent is, what's their conversation style, how are they going to be engaging with your client, what is the objectives that this agent has, and then lastly, what is the qualification criteria? So those are the 4 key things that we want to hit every single time. And then we're going to use Markdown, which is just these hashtags right here, which is just better for the LLM to be able to ingest that information. So I've just gone ahead and added all of that in, the conversation style, the objectives, the qualification criteria. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So we really want this just to be simple, straight to the point. And then for all of the objections and all the objection handling, that's what we'll put in the knowledge base. And so now we're going to hop in, we're going to create our first state. This is where this agent conversation flow comes in handy. This is what's going to make our life 10 times easier when we're building out, because every single one of these blocks is a different state. So now we're going to be creating the states. The states, they have 3 key parts. Every single state needs to have this, which is what's the objective? What are the response guidelines, or what are the step-by-step action items that your AI needs to take in that state? And then what are the different routes to direct that flow of that conversation? Okay, guys, awesome. So we've just created this first greeting state. We're first clarifying that, hey, are we speaking to the right person? If we're not, could you connect me with the person who manages your email marketing campaigns? If they are the person, we're going to move to the call purpose state. We're going to explain what the call is about. If we can't reach the decision maker, we're going to end the call. And then we give it success criteria and error recovery. Then we just went ahead, we created 2 different states, right? And those are just the 2 states that came from our conversation flow diagram, which is really name confirmation. If name's confirmed, explain purpose. If not, then we end the call. Okay, and then our edge from greeting to purpose is going to be, so user confirms we are speaking to the correct person. User is not decision maker or not interested. Okay, guys, so now that we're at the purpose state, essentially it's going to go down one of 3 routes. So we are now at the purpose question, which is we explain the purpose of the call. They're either going to be interested in improving their email deliverability rates, which will then move into gauging how they're doing with their current provider, or it's going to be a bad time. They don't have a minute to talk. We're going to try and schedule a callback. So that's not on the board right now, but we're going to add that in. Or otherwise, they're just not going to be interested from our pitch, and we're going to end the call and transition politely. Now, there is this other route, which is how we know, but we're going to use the knowledge base in order to tackle those questions. Okay, and you can see for purpose, it's the exact same thing. Objective, the response guidelines, so how it's going to handle those responses, and then the different routes, the success criteria, and then error recovery. So how we can bring the AI back on track. And it's always the same. Okay, the path condition to end the call is the user's not interested. Okay, to gauge provider, it's that user expresses interest. And then to call back, it's that the user is busy. So here we have the next state. We're going to ask them about the current satisfaction. Awesome, thanks for your time. Just to confirm, are you happy with your current deliverability rates? And in every single case, we are trying to push them to the pitch value state unless they express explicit disinterest in us not wanting to continue the call. And then based on that, if they say deliverability is good, if they say it needs improvement, or if they don't know the rates, we're going to kind of tackle it from a different angle. But that's really the only thing we're doing, or we're pushing it to the end call state. So the user responds about their deliverability satisfaction. So any response whatsoever about the deliverability satisfaction is going to push them to the pitch value state, which is where we're going to be pitching our offer. So now we're hitting the 3 different angles that we had mentioned earlier, which is if they say email deliverability is good, we're going to hit it one way. If they say deliverability needs improvements, we're going to show empathy for their pain point. And if they're unsure about their rates, we're really going to, say like, look, I understand, like having clear visibility is crucial. That's why at Mail-In, we focus explicitly on this. Then we're going to handle the response to the trial offer. So they're either going to show interest, they're going to need time, or they're going to decline. Okay. And then for the routes, we're either going to move to the closed interested state, so they are interested in our services, or we're going to move them to the callback state because they need more time, or end call, so they're no longer interested. And so I already created the edge back to the end call, which is that the user expresses disinterest, the same as all the other ones. So at this point, the objective is really to secure their email address and send out a trial setup. We're either going to get their email, then we're going to move towards the end call state if it's a success. Otherwise, if they are hesitant, they need more time, we're going to move them to the callback state. So now the path condition to the end call is going to be slightly different because at this state, we're really trying to capture their email. It's the end state, or it's the final state before we move to the end call. So it is slightly different. Or we're going to move them to the callback state where they need more time. So lastly, we need to create the callback state. So either way, we're still going to try and capture their email at this state. In the callback state, we're going to be like, hey, no problem. Like, I'll still send you a free trial so you can check it out in the meantime, and then try and get their email, because most people will still be down. They'll still be interested in getting a free trial anyways. So we're either going to move to the end call state with follow-up or without follow-up. So we're now going to draw a line to end call. The edge function is going to be that they provide their email in the callback time, or that they just don't want to be contacted. And so now we have a pretty good state set up, right? We built that really quick. And if you guys are interested, I'll drop all of this in the community completely for free so you guys can mess around with it and see how everything works. So now I pretty much just scraped their site. I grabbed all the main parts and I'm saying like, please help me create a knowledge base for mailin.ai. It should be formatted Q&A response. We want to keep the responses simple, succinct, like speaking at a 5th grade reading level. Like, we don't want any of that technical jargon, and talking to a close friend while maintaining professionalism. We got general questions, we got deliverability, we got performance, pricing plans, objection handling, and why choose Mail-In. One thing I will say that's really important that I've noticed with creating a lot of voice agents is that having your headers and your subheaders in the proper H2, H1 format will allow your AI to be able to search your document much easier. And so I know this is a simple example, but if you were building this out completely, I would do a much more detailed knowledge base, and I would format all the headers like we see it right now, so that when the AI is going and searching your document, which is going to be transformed into Markdown, it'll be able to hit that header and find the appropriate response a lot easier. And if you did get value out of this, I would really appreciate if you dropped a subscribe. It's free. It helps support the channel and allows me to continue making videos like this for you. And with that being said, hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.